the first edition of Plugin Lowdown. This week we're having a look at the Jack Joseph Puig collection from Waves, and specifically the Puigchild 670, which is Waves' rather snazzy little copy of the Fairchild 670, the legendary huge valve compressor from the 1960s. So let's dive straight in, let's see what it sounds like with some drums. Okay, so this is our nice raw drum track, nice and funky. Let's have a look at the plugin. So, what controls have we got? It's a bit of a unique plugin, this one. It has a both an input gain and a threshold control, so you can drive it really hard. This control over here, the time constant, is set up to scout you through various different attack and release settings. They're all fixed, and they're all quite short attack times, usually less than 1 millisecond. Leading up to some pretty long release times of getting on for 10 seconds towards the far end, but getting on for 100 milliseconds at the lower end settings. And then obviously you've got your output gain to boost it all back up again. On the left hand side we've got our plug-in on-off controls, cute little light, and the setting for Waves traditional analog monitoring, or modeling rather. If you want to have the sound of various kinds of hum on your recording, then this is the control to do that with. This large control in the middle is set up so that you can run the two compressor channels either as completely separate, linked together for processing in stereo, or set up to process the lateral and vertical channels separately, which is a sort of mid-side thing that they used to do, but you probably won't use that often. So anyway, let's start cranking some controls and see what we can get with these drums. So at the minute it sounds quite relaxed and dry, but if I increase the threshold, you can hear it really start to bite. If I even that out with a little bit of the input channel, you can really start to hear the crack of the drums coming through. Let's just take that off, bypass it so you can hear what it sounded like. Back in. You can really hear how much extra power it's delivering. It really is giving those drums a huge amount of life. And obviously your output control is set to just even out any compression you do. Okay, let's have a look at this time constant. What sort of effect that has. At the minute, very fast attack, quite a fast release, has a very punchy mastering, leveling sound. But as we move through, it should get slightly softer. Let's see what we get. You can really hear that, especially on the snare. And then right to the far end. The two program-dependent settings really have quite a subtle compression, especially compared to if I just whip that back to number 1. Really vicious, massive increase in snare power. Okay, so that's the Puigchild 670 from Waves. I think all things considered, it's a very solid compressor for really squashing things hard. It has a fantastic analog sound for a plug-in. It's very useful on drums, very useful on piano, very useful on the mix totally to give it a nice glued together sound. A lot of people use compressors for that. So I'd probably give it a 4 out of 5. It's quite expensive for what it is, but ultimately it's probably going to be very useful. Okay, so that's it for this review. Please subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more things in the future from Plugin Lowdown.